Welcome to Reality NSFW's coverage of Big Brother 24. It is week 3, our second eviction of the season, and sadly, Bobby Goodsby's not joining us tonight. But I'm your host, Alex Rubino, and joining me is the one and only, my ride or die, the eclectic, my bestie, my festy bestie, whatever the hell you want to call him, the one and only Brent Wolgamott. Brent, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. Oh my God. It feels like it's been a hot minute since I have talked to you guys. And it really has been.
It's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks without Brent.
Okay. And part of that is not my fault. Part of that is CBS's fault in moving the eviction from Thursday to Sunday when I am not around. And then also the week before that, I had previously planned something, and because I thought we were going to be doing something on Wednesday, not Thursday, so just a little miscommunication there. But I am back. I can't say I'll be here every Thursday. We might have to have shows on Wednesday occasionally, but I'm usually off either Wednesday or Thursday, if not both, as I am this week. And it's so great to be here to talk to you about this week and Big Brother. If ever there was a week for me to be here, this is it. Let's go.
I have not been this excited to talk about Big Brother in a long time, and I'll be honest, at the beginning of the week, I was not following what's going on very closely. I heard rumblings and I got very excited, and I'm like, when I heard Taylor's in the majority, what's going on? But it's been amazing. Brent, for those who haven't maybe kept up with all the feeds this week and everything, quickly, what happened this week? How did this beautiful blindside come about?
Well, and before I start, I just want to say, so, and I don't know, I haven't podcasted with you like a ton, Alex. Like, are you on, like, do you have one microphone or two microphones? Because I feel like I feel like I'm getting a little extra noise, like from like your finger tapping or I don't know, something is like, do you have two microphones or one microphone?
Yep. Better.
That sounds a lot better. Yeah, I know you're a professional podcaster. Like you don't sound like you're in a tunnel normally.
The settings got messed up when I put my headphones on. Sorry about that. I wish I knew that before the intro, but you know what? People can hear me,
it's okay. I almost said something, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be rude, like, because if that's how you actually sound, then I'm going to sound like a total dick. But
I don't care, Brent.
Okay.
Oh,
so
hit it.
All right, here we go. So, this was absolutely glorious. Now, I may miss a few of the fine details because, a bitch works on Friday and Saturday, and that's exactly when this plan all came together. But as you saw in the episode, they did depict some things accurately. The boys correctly sussed out that they are still flabbergasted about what happened with Pooch last week. And for a while, maybe like a day, 24 hours, it was fine for them to go along with the plan. Let's just throw up Brittany and Michael. They're ostracized from the rest of the house. They're not in any big alliances for the most part. We can evict Brittany or Michael if we're feeling zesty, and then backdoor Taylor if they win the veto. That's what was going to be happening, and it was really going to be happening. So, like, at the beginning of this week, we were so excited when Pooch got evicted, okay? And it wasn't a true blindside because in the end, it was like 12-0. But we got what we wanted. Pooch was evicted. Then I turn on the feeds at work, not the feeds, but I turn on Twitter at work and I see that Turner has won HOH, and I literally want to shoot myself in the face. Like, seriously, like, wow. Like, the guy that I called ugly as shit, and why the fuck did they cast him, has won HOH, and oh my God, he's targeting Taylor as a backdoor plan. So that's what the fuck happened at the beginning of the week. Then, fast forward, the boys are feeling less and less secure about what happened with Pooch and how they were just left out of stuff. Joseph, I will say, Kyle, those two did not get a lot of credit on the episode, and I really feel like, let me say, the episodes, they did not get a lot of the credit, especially Joseph, did not get a lot of the credit from what was happening with this plan on the episodes. And also, it should be noted that when all this stuff came together, it was Joseph's birthday, which is why you see Twitter referring to Joseph as Joseph, 25, because when he was 24, oh my God, nothing great was happening with him. He was like, canoodling in bed a little bit with Pooch, but that was the extent of it. Fast forward to when he's 25 and he's like king of all things, doing shit for the fans, saving Taylor, doesn't like the way she's been treated, wants to use her in the alliance, wants to get all of the little leftovers together, all of the outsiders, and do something. and just like do something. And I'm not even sure he knew what he wanted to do at first, but he knew he wanted to do something and get these people involved. And of course, we can get into the weeds about the whole like the pre-veto of it all, of trying to get Taylor up in the HOH room and what a comedy show that was, because she wouldn't go up there for the longest time. You saw Monty say, "We'd like to talk in the HOH room." The way the episode depicted it, it's like she ran up there right away, but that's not really what had happened. She like lounged around for a good couple hours until she moseyed on up to the HOH room to talk with the boys. Anyway, as you saw, they got it together. They said, you know what? This is what we want anybody to do anytime on Big Brother, is realize you're an underdog, realize you're being played, and stop being a lamb led to the slaughter and do something about it, especially when you have power. Like, why are you just listening to the same people that backstabbed you last week? The same people that backstabbed you last week and got Pooch out of the house are the same people who are telling you, you know what, you should just use your HOH to backdoor the house target in Taylor, because that'll make everybody happy, meaning that'll make us happy so that we can control what happens. And Turner and company just decided that they weren't going to do that anymore. And that's, in a nutshell, what happened. So that's how we got to Wednesday's episode. Now, I will, in the beginning of Thursday's episode, when you saw what was happening, I will say there were some things in the episode that they did leave out. I shall address those because, again, I'm only here once a week, so I will address a couple of things from Wednesday's episode and, a lot of what happened on Thursday's episode. But for the most part, that's what happened. Sorry. I know some people in the comments are like, let Alex talk. That is not how I run things, bitch. This is the Brent Wolgamott show. I don't know if you heard, okay? This is the Brent Wolgamott show, and now that I'm done, I'm going to let Alex Rubino talk. So, Alex, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Do you ever stop talking? No, it's great.
Nope.
Nope. And I love it. This is why I love podcasting with you. Yeah, what a week this was. I'm seeing some comments comparing this to Keisha's birthday. No, it's not Keisha's birthday. Nothing will ever be Keisha's birthday. But boy, was this pretty glorious. And whether it's people trying to change their game for the better, for the worse, are they overplaying, or are they not? I don't care. This was glorious. I'm sad to see Amira go because I think she's a really, really good player. But wow, these people did it. They came together. They may have gotten to the right conclusion in a bit of a weird way, but they got there eventually. They got there, and I'm proud of them. And
they really did.
And I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm proud of Turner. I
can't either.
Wow, and good on him for what he said. Obviously, we've all said a lot about him, and there are some things I certainly still stand by, but
I stand by.
This was a good moment. This was a good moment for him.
And I can also say, you know what? I can stand by it, and I can also say, you know what? For a lot of things about Turner, I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I can say that I was freaking wrong. Okay, so I will say that I was wrong. Because there are a lot of people out there who won't cop when they're wrong. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm just saying. But I was definitely wrong about Turner. When it comes to how he feels about social interactions, how he feels about microaggressions and bullying and things like that. And I love the fact that they included in his diary room. And again, I don't know how, they might have prompted him to say something like this so he doesn't get blowback from the fans. But I'm just going to go with what I saw on the TV. He said, look, I'm not perfect, but it ends today. And that was just so great to hear. It was just really, really glorious to hear that, because we've all been feeling that. So while we're stopped talking about that really quickly, and we're going to get to what happened tonight and the blinds of it all, and what was happening with the plan today, and the fact that we thought it was spoiled when they first showed Amira. We're going to get to all that. But first, I just want to back up really quickly and talk to y'all about something that happened last night's episode, because I want to clarify something, because I really feel like it needs to be clarified, because everything that social media has been talking about in last night's episode was to do with this interaction with, the Lays, like the potato chips, like that whole conversation with Nicole and Daniel and Taylor. Like, everyone's been talking about that. And I just want to clarify what the fuck happened with that, because we weren't here. And honestly, I didn't listen to any of the podcasts, so I don't know if they've clarified it. I assume they have, but I'm going to give it to you straight what the fuck happened. Okay. The way they depicted it on the TV show, it made it look as though, Nicole came out of the diary room, and it's true. They were all worrying about her and her mom and her treatments and all that. And they were thinking about that. But what they did not show, it made it look like Nicole made a beeline to the bed and immediately was going in about like how she didn't want to have to throw the competition because, but she's going to for her own integrity and whatnot. let me tell you, the reason that Nicole was upset was not that, because if you notice on the episode, they didn't really address why she was upset. The reason she was so upset is because the diary room, God bless them, had been asking some hard-hitting questions about Nicole's treatment of Taylor and her festy bestie. And how do you think that this is looking to America? Have you ever thought about something like that, Nicole? How America is looking at you treating your festy bestie in such a way where you're throwing the veto to get another woman of color out of the game? Like, have you ever thought about something like that? And that did not sit well with Nicole, because Nicole's always right. The funny part is I haven't been here in 3 weeks, so you guys don't know how I feel about a lot of these people, but I basically mirror the fans for the most part. Look, I'll just be real with you. Is Taylor an amazing Big Brother player? She's not really all that great. I'm just saying. Okay, she needs to marinate. She needs to grow, and I'm hopeful that and I'm also cognizant about the fact that they haven't given her space to grow. So now that she has time to grow in this alliance, I'm hopeful that she can grow, because that's who I'm rooting for. I love her. But having said that, oh my gosh, hold on. Why am I hearing something? I'm just saying. All of a sudden, I'm hearing like TV stuff in the background, and I'm like, I can't think. Anyway, like I said, point being that that was not depicted accurately on the episode. Okay, Nicole was pissed because the diary room was basically saying you're being microaggressive to Taylor, and she wasn't feeling it, and she ranted to Daniel about it. And then the whole conversation with Daniel saying, with Taylor coming in and saying her thing after Daniel left about you can tap out if you want to. You can tap out of this fight, which she never said quit the game, not to my knowledge. She said tap out of the fight, and which she meant it more in a metaphorical sense. And oh my God, it just went downhill from there. So that part they got right, but the why Nicole was upset, they definitely left that part out, and I want you guys to know that. So Nicole is basically, the thing to understand about Nicole is that she has been made aware that her treatment of Taylor and the rest of the girls' treatment of Taylor, along with Daniel, is not okay. And yet she's still like, but you know what? I'm right. She's one of these people that listens to the diary room. They give her like a little inside knowledge, a little inside window into what the audience might be thinking in the way they ask the questions. And she's still like, no, I'm right. And you can't tell me that I am being microaggressive to Taylor or anybody, because I am who I am, and I'm a 41-year-old woman who was a cop for 10 years and blah, 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 blah. And it's all about me. And I just need you guys to know that. So now that we're all up to speed, we can talk about tonight and Amira going home. I'm glad to do it.
Okay, Brent, take a breath.
Yes.
Take a breath.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yes.
All right. Wow.
This is how I talk. Do you guys not know this? This is how I talk.
Listen, I know.
If you followed me for years, I'm just saying.
This is maybe a lot even for you, but yes. All right. So the episode starts, and I just want to catch one thing from the announcer guy. Once Turner wins the HOH, the announcer guy's like, and the Scooter Queen became his bestie. I just like that they're calling Jasmine Scooter Queen, and every time she rolls around, like I hear the wheels, and I'm like, they're pumping it up, which good for them. But I just hope she's not like that all season. Leftovers Alliance featuring Taylor, Michael, Kyle, Monty, Brittany, Joseph, and Turner. They're the big story. I like this group. It's an odd group. Like I think at one point Daniel said, it's just fun. But yeah, Turner. Do you mind if I read the quote Turner had once he put up Amira and Terrence real quick?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. I will say that I felt like, based on what I was hearing from the other house guests, that Turner's speech got really cut up. And so I but what they gave us in the episode, sure, let's hear it.
Yes, I'm willing to bet it was cut up, and that doesn't surprise me. He said there was clearly one target this house had, and I don't feel like that's best for my game, and I don't really want to add on to the dog pile I feel like is going on in this house. And I'm sorry about that. Behind closed doors, a lot of you say some crazy things about individuals, and I really don't want to draw a line in the sand by saying this, but as the youngest person in this house, I really don't feel like I should be the one saying that's not okay, but here I am. So it's a lot of ands and a lot of backwards backing into things, but he got a point across.
Yes,
he talked a nerve with some people, which I appreciate. And if you had said, after all that's going on with Taylor, all the microaggressions against her, everything, that Turner's going to be the one to publicly take a stand
Right.
against it. I would have bet a lot of money I don't have on that not happening, but even this season's surprising me with anything, and I will take it. I'm here for it right now. Listen, Turner's not going to be my favorite overnight. He probably will never be my favorite based on things, even preseason alone. But for now, I hope his alliance does well. And when they get picked off, I still wouldn't mind him going first. But all I want for tonight, Taylor to win that HOH and just say, "Give me the key, bitch." And
which she's too good to say. Like, I mean, we want her to say that, and maybe she knows in the back of her mind that that's what she should say, like to give it to the fans. But she's just she is too much full of grace to do that to them. Even you saw even in her vote of Amira, which by the way, I tweeted this. Her and Brittany really drugged that the fuck out when they were voting. I vote to girl, just say Amira. Like, seriously, I thought one of them was thinking about it, and because I knew it was like going to be 6-5 or 7-4, and I was like, whoo, baby. Like, I do not need to, do not trifle with me today, Taylor. No, Brittany. We need 2 votes against Amira. Don't think about it. Just say it. I think they were taking their time, so they just knew to say the right name, because Taylor hasn't previously had the opportunity to vote somebody out. Oh, did I say that? Yeah.
I mean, I think they didn't want to pull a Meta World piece, but I don't know. Say it a little faster. Regardless, I mean, what's funny is after the nomination, we get Terrence saying he wants Amira to stay. Is that true? Who knows? Nicole shocked at this, and then we just go to Indy in the bathroom crying hysterically, and then we go back to Amira and Terrence and Nicole. And I love Amira's line about defending Taylor all week. Terrence again says he wants to go home. Did you buy any of that? Do you think at any point Terrence wanted to go home?
For the first 3 minutes, because it was awkward with him standing in the room with Amira. But I mean, I again, I don't watch feeds as much as I get used to as I used to. But from what I could tell, he was back on the train within an hour or two. Like, he was already like, maybe I could stay. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to just fall down and die. That kind of thing. I think he was not ever quitting the game. By the way, the Indy thing, I love it that they showed Indy like bawling in the bathroom, but it had nothing to do with what was happening, or at least very little to do with what was happening. She got stung by a bee, apparently, when they were waiting waiting to come back inside. She got stung by a bee, so that's why Indy was a mess. And then they were just this whole thing that happened after the veto ceremony, which they didn't really show a ton of on the episode. They showed some of it. They showed some of the confusion that was happening. But once Amira and Terrence are nominated and the veto ceremony is over, it is just glorious. And at first, I tweeted that I wanted Amira to know she was the target. I wanted her to be nervous for 3 fucking days. But what we got was something entirely great also, in that she really had no fucking clue and didn't really campaign for the last 3 days. Really thought she was set. I will give it to her, because you hear people get evicted and they say, oh, I kind of half knew, half didn't. I do think she was nervous. She looked nervous as hell. She looked like a long-haired cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Like, she was not feeling it when she was up there with Terrence. I'm sure she looked at him and looked at herself and goes like, why the fuck would people keep me here? But you got to believe what people are telling you, and everyone was telling her that she was good to go. And what a shit show that was. That was pretty glorious.
Okay, what is left of this episode? The leftovers and their acting. So, talk about this alliance for me a little bit. What are your thoughts on this grouping of Taylor, Michael, Kyle, Monty, Brittany, Joseph, Turner? How long does it last? And what else do you think? Like, what do you expect to see from them?
I mean, I expect it to last at least another week, if not 2. But people the thing I've learned over watching Big Brother is that it really takes a steady hand to not get bored in the Big Brother house. And a lot of these people are recruits. Some of them are pretty new to the game, and it's very easy to fall for the temptation of, I want to go where the grass is greener because it's kind of boring over here. Like, we've got all the power, we've got everything. So, like, somebody wants to make a big move. So I think I give it 2 weeks. That's what I give it, is 2 weeks. That should be enough to get Taylor to jury. I'm hopeful that after this week, let's say the unthinkable happens and Nicole wins HOH. I haven't looked at the feeds. I haven't looked at the updates. I saw what you
We have
saw
not-
in
we
the
have-
episode.
We have nothing yet. I'm following Hamster Watch. We've got nothing.
Okay. I saw what you saw in the episode. Terrence and Brittany, along with Jasmine, found a red envelope. So we still got 5 more people. That could be any combination of people. But let's say Nicole wins HOH. Okay. The only thing that would be bad would be her nominating Michael and Brittany. That would be the only thing that would be bad. Because then the leftovers wouldn't have the votes. They'd have 4 votes or 5. Yeah, sorry, they'd have 5 votes. Or no, they'd have 5 votes. Yeah. Or 4, whatever. They wouldn't have a majority. I'd have to think about the math. But they wouldn't have a majority. And one of them would go home, in which case I'm happy to say bye, Brittany, because she's got loose. Like, I need Sandra. Loose lips sink ships, Brittany. Like, she needs to shut her freaking pie hole, because I can't believe she kept it together for 3 days. I'll give it to her. She kept it together for 3 days and didn't fess up to the blind side, which we got a true blind side tonight. But I really thought she was going to. I think at one point Michael even had to talk her down. So I'm fine with her going. But again, that's the problem. The Alliance doesn't really have the power to send Brittany packing. Like, if the girls plus Daniel decide that they want to get rid of Michael, they might be able to do it if they're nominated. So that was, fast forward to the plan today, which we haven't gotten into yet. But there was a plan to throw some confusion into the mix. I saw earlier, I think Nowhere Man asked, how do I feel about Terrence joining? Julie announced that we haven't really talked about the blind side yet. But I'm going to talk about what happened after the blind side. So Julie announces to the house guest that the festy bestie who's left over, in this case Terrence, gets to join another pair. And in my head, I'm going, please choose Monty and Joseph. Please choose Monty and Joseph. I even tweeted it. Please choose Monty and Joseph, because if he chooses Monty and Joseph and they get nominated for eviction, and I have to think that if somebody, like if Nicole wins HOH, I think she's putting Monty and Joseph right on the fucking block. Okay. So now that Terrence is with them, they have the power to get rid of Terrence, because in that case, in my head, I'm like, okay, so it's 7-4 tonight. So that means 10 people voting next week. But if there are 3 people on the block, that means there's only going to be 9 people voting next week. And the 5 people in the leftovers who are still there can vote to send Terrence packing. It's glorious. I'm so excited that Terrence basically was looking like Boo Boo the Fool and joined the one pair that he needed to definitely cement his eviction should they be nominated on eviction night. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to get your thoughts on the festy bestie twist overall, and that, and then how they played Terrence into it.
Look, so you're talking to someone who's a major fan of Big Brother 13. Okay, I loved Big Brother 13. That was when they had the duos twist on 13, and they figured out how to play it. It just so happened on Big Brother 13, I was rooting for the veterans, and the veterans played that twist perfectly. So I loved it every week. Every week it was like, yay, 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 until Danielle, that bitch, got power and decided to take a run at Rachel, Queen, and
how dare Danny try to make the game interesting.
I know, right? I know, but that was the one season where I was totally fine with the game being boring. I was like, this is so great. And I remember what it was like back then. Like, wow, another week of just chilling and I got nothing to worry about. What's this like? You know what I mean? But I haven't had that since then. I'll tell you that. But like I said, I'm a fan of the duo twists. The way it worked out, I think we're going to be fine. I know that Taryn was ranting about it on Rap, about how we should, send mail to CBS to get rid of this twist. But it looks like it's around to stay. And I think that, if you have good players, they can navigate their way around any twist. So I'm not all bent out of shape about it. I'm really not.
Yeah, I personally don't hate it. And I'm a Big Brother purist in a lot of ways. I don't love this twist. We don't need it, but I don't hate it at all.
I'll tell you something else it does. Go ahead. No, you were going to say what I was going to say.
Because I liked the part in the HOH competition where they let the players have some impact on, and for the most part, make the decisions themselves. I want these twists to give the players control of their fate, and some of them got that control, and I appreciate that. And also, I like that we're not evicting them as pairs. Thank God we're not doing that.
Yeah. So the other thing it forces them to do is to put trust in people that they may not want to trust. Like, I can guarantee you that if, let's say Jasmine wins HOH this week, God forbid, okay? And she decides, you know what? I'm going to finish what I started. I'm going to get Taylor out of the house. Taylor, Nicole, I'm nominating you. That requires Taylor to sit up on the block, assuming she doesn't win the veto. And again, if it's a festy bestie thing, Nicole might throw it again, which I hated. I did hate that part, by the way, that they had to work with their veto partner in order to
Battle of the Block is back.
That felt very Battle of the Block, and that was just ugh. But anyway,
God, I can't believe comparing Nicole to
I'm losing my point, though. My point is that it requires Taylor to put trust in the people in her alliance to say, okay, save me. I'm here now. Save me. No, I think they will. But still, you saw tonight with Amira, she had all these people backing her. It still requires you to sit on the block on eviction night. And I cannot imagine that is. I mean, I remember, oh my God, it seems like every podcast I bring up Sequester. Why not this time? I'm going to bring up Sequester. When I was nominated in episode 3 by the majority rules twist, and I was left out, and it was me or Spencer. I remember the terror in my mind, and I was just absolutely
all of us.
frantic trying to survive. Okay, so I cannot imagine. And I remember because spoiler alert, it's Audrey that reads the votes, not some freaking robot. So when Audrey read the votes, I'm just like, okay, I knew what I was gonna do if it was me. If it was me, what I was gonna say, but I was not prepared for it not to be me. And when it was not, because I think that at the beginning of that week, it was gonna at the beginning of that round, it was gonna be me. And then it switched, and I didn't know it switched. And then I survived, and I was like, so for her to sit up on the block, be nominated all week, girl, I mean, that's going to take some balls from anybody to be able to do that. But that's what this twist requires. So, I'm okay with it.
All right. I want to switch gears a little bit because we get everyone's confident that Mira's going to stay, blah, 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 blah. The leftovers do their acting. Good on them. But let's get to the vote. So I remember you tweeted something about Amira wearing somewhat nicer clothes and Terrence wearing a t-shirt. Didn't look like it was anything. It just looked like that's how Terrence normally dresses.
I know. I did think about that.
He's getting. Yeah. I was like, when I was like, maybe she knows. But then I'm seeing these votes. I'm like, she can't fully know. Like, of course she had an idea because she's smart. But she did not know, and I'm thankful for that. But it's like, I remember the first votes coming, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. Everyone's going to vote out Amira. Let's just
No. It wasn't even the first votes. It was her speech. When she gave her speech, it was the speech of someone who knows they're staying. It was the speech of, hey, friends and family, love you, miss you, blah, blah, blah. Hope I don't see you soon.
Yeah,
no, but he also knew he was staying. See, that's the thing. Both of them knew they were staying.
No, that's my point.
Terrence did try to make it look like he was nervousing, like if you can find it in your heart to vote for, whatever. But for real, if Amira knew she was going, she would have had shit to say in that speech, and she did not. Like, I knew once she gave that speech. In fact, once she started, I knew we were good. And then once I hear Terrence's speech, I knew we were good. And then when I heard the first vote, I forget who the first vote was, but it wasn't a leftover. It was somebody else.
It was Alyssa.
Yeah, girl. I knew we were good to go because nobody was flipping their vote. It was great to see. Then, of course, Daniel's cocky ass comes in with a pity vote, sympathy vote for Terrence. I'm with Terrence on this one. Terrence got pissed off earlier today because Nicole and Daniel, or maybe it was just Nicole, I forget, but he got like a last supper, but it was like a last breakfast, and he was very annoyed about it. Like, bitch, don't you think I'm playing the game? Like, I know what I'm doing here. I got the votes. You don't. What are you talking about? Also, all week, Nicole was doing the most. She was doing the most on Monday when she wasn't nominated for the block with Taylor. Literally, she's not nominated and she's doing the most. Then for the rest of the week, you see her. She thinks it's all about her. She thinks that she's the swing vote. She thinks she's deciding who goes home this week. And she took a couple days to think about it. And eventually she came to the conclusion, Terrence, I'm going to have to send you packing. Sorry, buddy. It's over for you. And I think he was just really pissed about that. I'm so excited to see now that Terrence is staying, she has to deal with him and knows like she kind of dismissed him. I'm sure Terrence I'm sure Terrence is gonna be like, oh no, it's okay, it's no big deal. But also, he now knows she's a cop. Like, that information's. If I don't know if everybody knows already, because again, I don't keep up on the minutia of what's happening sometimes. But I assume, like, if people don't know she's a cop, they're gonna know pretty fucking soon, because she's told too many damn people at this point.
Yeah, I don't believe the players all know yet, but it's gonna get exposed soon. I completely agree with you there. As the players vote, they all compliment Julie with some random comments. I like Jasmine saying that Julie's prettier than a full rack of ribs.
Yeah. Wait, let's stop right there. So she's saying that Julia's prettier than a dead carcass. Yeah, okay. That's fabulous, Jasmine. That's just amazing. Yeah.
It's a full rack of ribs, Brent. It's a full rack.
By the way, are you guys like so the fuck over her accent? It sounds like a fake fucking accent. I'm sorry, it does. Like, I know it's real. Believe me, I know it's real. But it sounds fucking fake, and it just annoys the living shit out of me every time I hear her and I see her hopping around like a goddamn three-legged man. It just pisses me off. Like, I just can't stand her so much. And then the diary room today, the diary room told her that she was medically cleared to compete. And you know she was hating life when they told her that. Like, she did not want to be medically cleared for shit.
She's
so
like,
they medically cleared her to compete. And hopping around like a crazy person, not even using her crutches. And you can somebody else tweeted this. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was like BB Updudes or Cassie or maybe it was Cena Knits. I can't remember. But they were talking about how when she was using the crutches that Jasmine was putting more weight on the injured foot. So like, you know that she's totally faking it. Like, she's just using it for sympathy, and she's using it so that they don't make her a have-not, which I'm praying that somehow, some way, it's out of the house guest's hands and they make her a have-not. I need Jasmine to be a have-not. I need it. I needed it more than Amira's blindside. Okay. I need Jasmine to be a have-not, because she's going to be dreaming about air fryers and chickens and racks of ribs and whatever the fuck else she can think of. That's what she originally was going to say to Julie. She was going to say to Julie, you're prettier than a fried chicken and an air fryer, or a piece of chicken and an air fryer, or something like that. Like something about an air fryer. I'm glad that either she or production put the kibosh on that one. So
I would have rather had that. I mean, it would make less sense. But the only thing that would have made this episode better, in my opinion, is if it was 6-5 and then Daniel was the swing vote, and Daniel accidentally said,
if they knew 100%, that would be ballsy as fuck.
It would be stupid as fuck. Oh, it would be young, stupid.
But it'd be ballsy as fuck. Yeah.
No, it would have been dumb.
I mean, look, let's look at the flip side. Oh well, Terrence goes home. I mean, honestly, that wouldn't have been a bad result.
Oh, it would not have been bad either.
Like, I mean, Terrence is kind of worthless, and Amira is actually good TV, and like they still would have been in the pairs that they're in. So, you know, like strategy wise, it doesn't really change much. But I think Amira would have been better TV moving forward. So like if they would have tried something like that, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's a universe where that happened, and you know, Amira's still around, like saying, "Wow, that was a close call, you guys, 6-5, huh?"
Oh my goodness! All right, so we get the vote. Amira whispers something to Jasmine. Don't know what.
I heard it.
What was it?
She told her make sure that she rounds up all of her clothes and packs them, because she wasn't expecting to go home. Yeah. Okay.
She did. Oh yeah, I forgot. Amira didn't pack. Yeah. Nicole says she'll see Amira on The Amazing Race. Gives Turner a long hug. I saw Hi from Survivor. He tweeted, "The only Amazing Race Nicole's going on is a race to delete her Twitter account after."
That was Hi. Yeah, exactly. Did you say that? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. She's gotten no Amazing Race. Hugged Turner for a while, so I like that Turner is fooling them enough for now that they think he was blindsided, even though he kind of made all this happen.
The thing that like is making this very real right now is like, okay, so they're like depending on who wins HOH, and even if like one of them wins HOH, but especially like if somebody from the outside wins HOH, they're gonna be asking who the fuck voted this way, and I wonder who's going to cop to it and who's not, because if you like, that's the thing. If you cop to it, okay, then there's going to be an invoice to be paid. If you don't cop to it and somebody else knows you're lying, they're going to throw you under the bus most likely if they feel like they're in danger. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. People like Monty and Joseph really don't have anywhere to hide. Like, I feel like the best way for them would be just to own up to the vote and say, look, I thought Terrence was going, but I wanted to keep my man here, and just say it, like, pretend like it was happenstance that he got 7 votes. Again, nothing happens like that in the Big Brother house, but try to go with that.
I honestly would just say, you know what? You all know how good Amira was at this game. If we let her stay longer, she's winning. That I think is
okay. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. I can accept that.
That's argument, because I don't think anybody. Okay. If you told me any argument that involves Terrence, I don't believe you. Really? Unless you tell me that he's wallpaper, I don't believe you.
Yeah, exactly, Moses. I can see Brittany spilling. If Brittany thinks she's in danger, word vomit coming out of her mouth. I will say that the thing that annoys me the most about people when they get absolutely blindsided, like literally like slap the fuck out of their face on TV, like what happened to Nicole tonight. You saw Nicole's face. For those of you who are watching me on video, it was literally like this. Like, that's what it was, okay? And then they showed Alyssa, and it was the same thing. And then Amira went home, and then I heard Nicole say, well, it's on now. Like, what? Like, so now it's on? Like, now it's on. Okay, Monica, it's on. Okay, like, seriously, what the fuck? Like, it wasn't on before? Like, just shut the fuck up. You got had. Own your shit. Say, good one, guys, and move the fuck on. Saying, oh, it's on now.
No, I
literally like an old man shouting at the clouds. Like,
you know what? Let them shout at the cloud. I want to see these irrational people shout at the cloud, think they have a shot. And you know what?
That's true. They don't have a shot. As long as they don't nominate Michael and Brittany, they don't have a shot. Even if the unthinkable happens and one of them wins if one of the girls wins HOH. Let's say Jasmine again. I could go back to her because she's the one I hate the most. If she wins HOH again, there's literally nothing she can do unless she nominates Michael and Brittany, and she doesn't know that. So, no.
I think any outcome honestly makes this interesting. So even if one of the non-leftover, even if Alyssa and Indy win this, and they're the only non.
Yeah, I want to see the leftovers control the vote without the power of HOH. That would be very interesting.
Yes.
Because then one of them is going to go up on the block most likely, and they're going to have to save them again.
Okay. I would love to. I really want to get deep into the HOH and all the scenarios we can get with the besties and all this nonsense in a little bit. But before we do, anything you caught?
Go ahead.
While I check Twitter, do you want to talk about anything from the exit interview or the goodbye messages that you found interesting?
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say this is time for a commercial break. That's what I thought you were gonna say, because we need to take a commercial break sometime. And like,
I want to do that right after we just get through this, and then we can spend everything else talking about the HOH.
Okay. So you want to do commercial now, or you want to talk about something like the exit interviews?
Talk about the exit interview.
Okay.
Goodbye messages.
Okay.
Send Amira off. There we go.
All right. So obviously I don't know what's happening with Amira. Sharon Tharp tweeted out, hey, do you have some questions for Amira? I'm sure people had suggestions. It's going to be a storm coming to her on social media. I'll say that. The one thing that she should not say is that the feeds don't show everything. Because that's what Paloma said. That's what Pooch said. And what they're missing in their terrible argument, and Ryan Ballantine from Big Brother Canada 6 tweeted something to that effect, like, hey, the feeds don't show everything. And it's true to an extent. The feeds don't show everything because they can't, okay? But when we're saying we've seen it on the feeds and it's 24/7 feeds, what we're saying is we saw you in context make a statement that we consider to be that plainly is a microaggression to a dark-skinned woman of color. That's what we saw, and here's the evidence for it. But that doesn't allow you to then say, well, you don't see everything. Because, bitch, you said it, okay? It's like the RuPaul song, blame it on the edit. Like, girl, no. Like, you said it. If you said it, then you said it. Own your shit. The best thing you can do is say, and I'm talking about Pooch, is you know what? I was ignorant going into the house. I didn't realize that, calling a woman a fucking bitch or saying, that fucking cockroach, which I think Amira said, in a snide way to a woman of a dark-skinned woman of color. And the reason I'm saying a dark-skinned woman of color, not that it isn't valid with a woman of color or any woman for that matter, but it is true that colorism has been impacting this season. And you saw Taylor talk about that in the episode last night. And I just want to shout out Big Brother 23 alum Aza for bringing that to everybody's attention. As a dark-skinned woman of color herself, she brought up how even within the people of color community, like, dark-skinned people get shunned sometimes and treated differently than their light-skinned counterparts. And that's something as a white privileged man that I just never even think about. Just never even entered my mind before this season. It really did not. It just really did not. And for us to be illuminated to that fact and for is something special. And I think Pooch just needs to allow for himself to be one of us. Like, I'll own the fact that I didn't really think about stuff like that before this season. I feel like it's not out of bounds for him to say the same thing and say, look, I'm kind of an idiot. I didn't really think about stuff like that. Like, I said some things that didn't look very good. And I understand how they are a microaggression to a woman of color. I shouldn't say stuff like that. That's all you need to say, because you saw Turner on this show say, look, hey, I'm going to own some shit here. And I wasn't perfect, but X, Y, and Z. And the fans forgive you. And I feel like if Pooch just went out there and said, look, I said X, Y, and Z, and I'm not proud of it. I made a mistake, and I'm going to try to do better. That's what you need to say. And I feel like the smart people know that. And I feel like people like Pooch just will never learn.
We'll see. I hope all these people learn a little bit. I will give the show credit. I'm shocked they actually put it on the air last night. And you know what? Good on them. Listen, there's no way I could say all is forgiven, because production has made a comedy of errors over the years. Some really, really bad ones. A lot of omissions, intentional omissions of anything that's tough to talk about. They're doing a little bit better this season. A little bit. They're making progress. I give them that credit. It needs to continue. All right. On that,
yeah. But before we go, because this relates to that. No, really quickly. I was literally wondering to myself, is Grodner out sick this week? Does she have COVID? Because what the fuck is up with the editing? Like, the editing was actually pretty fucking accurate. Seriously, people. Like what the fuck? They talked about colorism. They depicted the formation of the leftovers pretty fucking accurately. Yes, they left out a couple of things for speed, but they basically got it. After the commercial break, we need to talk about the plan from today. What Kyle was doing, what Monty was doing, how they were doing a little bit too much. But I understand why they were doing it. We can talk about it, and we can talk about the results on the flip side. Okay?
Yes, we absolutely will. Did you have any thoughts from the exit interview, real quick? Besides Julie just interrupting.
That exit interview. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about exit interviews as in print exit interviews. No,
we're not there yet.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I felt like Amira was pretty honest.
Yeah.
Like she got had, but she sensed that something was awry. Like in the gutter part of her, not gutter, the guttural part of her throat. Like, she knew that something might have been up,
but she didn't act on it.
But yeah, she didn't act on it ever. That's the thing. Yeah. Although, to be fair, like, if you think you're good, why are you going to act on something? Because then you're admitting to yourself that things aren't good, and then that's going to send panic through your body. So I understood in some ways why she decided to just leave well enough alone. That's also, we need to talk about it on the other side of the break. That's why Terrence was the wrong receiver for the message he got earlier today, because he thought he was staying. So why is he going to fuck anything up? But let's talk about that on the flip side.
All right. With that being said, Julie needs to stop interrupting people, because boy, was that annoying. And let's hear from our sponsors and learn about some cereal and super hard dicks. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Please. Bye. Super hard dicks.
Brent's favorite. We'll be back.
We're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed.
0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. That's only 140 calories per serving.
It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and my favorite, maple waffle. Now, Magic Spoon recently brought back their 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Thank goodness. But they're back permanently. And when these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Now, I'm here to let you know you can get them again or try them for the first time. Why? Because they're delicious and indulgent.
Johnny, Magic Spoon has so many great flavors that I really enjoy, and even my kids enjoy them. We have the cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter. All these are really great combinations. They enjoy waking up in the morning and getting some Magic Spoon right off to start their day great before they head off to school. I think everybody listening should give Magic Spoon a try, or if you've tried them already, it's time to reorder. Let's get you some more Magic Spoon and get your day started right.
Hey, when I finish a podcast late at night, the first thing I'm thinking is not sleep. It's let me grab a delicious bowl of Magic Spoon before I go to bed.
So go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code survivor at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this podcast.
Thanks for sticking with us through the ad break. Don't forget, for more exclusive Reality NSFW content, visit adfreeNSFW.com.
This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer-lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
All right, we are back, Brent.
I haven't been live, so I wasn't sure how long, how many commercials there were. So I was kind of not prepared. I thought we had 2 more to go.
No, there's a little timer on there. It's about 4.5 minutes, but
okay, cool. Excellent.
good to know for next time. All right. So one thing we didn't really talk about, all the shout outs. I felt like they were worse than normal. I don't know about you.
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah. Even
They were.
Joseph 25 King, they were all really working overtime to annoy the living shit out of us. Look, here's
Except
the thing.
Michael. Except Michael.
Except
Michael didn't
Michael,
have
he-
any. He had none.
Knows.
He knows. He knows. Oh, I love him for that. He knows.
Yes. So I'm hoping that they were so horrible and so many of them that somebody finally puts a stop to it. I'm hoping that they make, going forward, anybody that announces a shout out, you're a have not. That would put a stop to it and not impact the game at all. Just right then, if you do a shout out and spend any, even walking out the door, if you shout out anybody, hey, blah, 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 hey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, girl, bye. No. You're a have not for the week. I don't give a shit if all 12 of them, 14 of them, whatever the fuck, 13, I think the 13 people are left. I don't give a shit how many people are have nots for the week. But that's what needs to happen.
Here's what I'll say. If you're on the block, do whatever you want. I really don't care if your speech is all shout outs. Fine. If you're voting, shut it down as Brent shows us his very tiny Coke. That's how quiet your shout outs should be. That quiet. I don't want to hear anything. As I made in my notes, I'm like,
Brent's showing his tiny little Coke.
Yes, that is what you were showing, Brent. I like ready. Indy, way too many shout outs. Monty, too many shout outs. Joseph, too many shout outs. And I was like, I'm going to stop writing this. There's no point.
I mean, like,
Kyle,
it was
too
bizarre.
many.
It wasn't just like, okay, like sometimes people will like vote and then as they're leaving, they'll do a shout out. But it was literally like as they're walking out the door and literally the door is closing and they're still doing them. Like, that's how bad it was tonight.
Yeah,
it's a bit
annoying.
sort of crazy.
But the way I would want to do it, honestly, is first time or have not, second time penalty vote. I really want to crack down on this. It annoys the living crap out of me.
I really think that the have-nots. Nobody wants to be a have-not in that house. Nobody wants to have to eat slop all week, especially after you've already been a have-not. Like I'm sure you're saying it the second time, but like there are people who like no way they could do it 1 week, but 2 weeks in a row, it really wears on you.
Indy and Jasmine will lose their mind. Those two. We'll go
and they wouldn't do shout outs.
Yeah.
Look, all you have to do is some of the house guests did this. I can't remember what Giesling used to do. He used to do something. Somebody else like did this or they kissed the ring or something. Like that's all you have to do. That's classy. Oh God. Yeah.
Also, you're on live feeds. You can tell your family you love them anytime. They'll hear about it. They'll hear about it no matter what, regardless.
Like, seriously, whatever.
Yeah,
okay,
that all happened. Okay.
Too much shouting out. Blah, blah, blah.
I want to talk about the HOH. Why don't we? So, it's based on the movie The Invitation that's coming out. 1,500 envelopes dropped from the ceiling, so we're just going to waste a ton of paper. There are, I believe it was 15 of them have red invitations on them. The first 8 people to find it move on to round 2. Because we can't have one competition where it's just one round. No, we have to do 2 rounds. We have to extend it. And we have to not show it on the feeds because we can't make any of the live feeders happy. Dear Lord, show us something on the feeds. Anything.
I don't understand why these people do this every year. And like, you think like, okay, people like, oh my God, like William Yelton is a friend of mine on Facebook, is a Big Brother. He's a Big Brother producer. Sorry, he's not a casting producer. He's a Big Brother producer. You would think that the Big Brother producers would know by this point to show everything on the feeds, because the only people that they think aren't tuning in are the people that watched it on the feeds. Oh, if they watch it on the feeds, then they won't watch it on the real show. Then that makes literally no sense at all, because we're the super fans. We're the people who will literally move heaven and earth to watch the freaking live feeds, which aren't easy to get to in the first place, especially if you don't live in the United States. We will tune in for the goddamn episode. We are the people who are your fan base. It just... And we always get the information anyway. It's like we knew that Amira was backdoored. We knew all of this before Thursday night. Like we knew what was going to happen. It's just honestly, it's the insanity. Oh my God!
Just every week you could be making a big commercial for Paramount Plus. Hey, you want to find out who wins? Watch the rest of the competition right now. And the only argument you can maybe make that I could get along with a little bit is, the people on the West Coast who have to wait 3 hours to watch the episode. Fine, you're spoiling it for them. I get that a little bit. But come on, give us something. We're going to find out who wins anyway. I would love nothing more than to be on this podcast and let Brent talk, and I'm going through Twitter, watching Hamster Watches. She's updating, giving us this one's out, this one's out, this one's out. I have a whiteboard ready to go of these people, who they're partnered with, and like who's moving on. I'm ready to like take notes on this whole thing. But God, it's also like, yeah, the West Coast is used to spoilers because there's the internet. They're going to be spoiled anyway if they want to be. And if they don't want to be, they won't check out the feeds. They're that smart of people. Really, just not that stupid. But whatever. Regardless, we're not getting what we want, but we somehow get that the person who can't walk in Jasmine has moved on. The person who never seems to run in Terrence moves on. And the Psycho and Brittany have moved on. Great. Can Taylor please move on? Please? Taylor, Michael... you know what? Let Daniel move on. I think that'd be funny. And Indy, give me Indy. Give me those 4. Those are the 4 I want to move on. And we got one more. Wait, we've got 8 people. Sorry. Throw Kyle in there. He's hot. All right.
Oh yeah,
that's my group.
Hot.
That's my group.
Okay. I wasn't feeling Kyle when he first got cast. I wasn't feeling him, and then
I was. Yes.
I somebody sent me these 2 screen caps of Kyle floating in the pool on a float, and his legs are just totally spread, but you can't see anything. It's just his legs. So it's his legs and his chest and his face. That's all you see. So anything that you might want to see is completely obscured by the ducky or whatever the fuck he's floating on. I'll send you the pictures, bitch. They were something to behold. Yeah, I was
Brent. Oh, Brent.
This is reality NSFW. I mean, I'll tell you, like, I just want to put my tongue so far up his ass when I saw these pictures. Seriously, so fucking hot. Like, wow. Now, when he starts talking and yammering on and acting a big doofus in the diary room, I'm like, okay, he's less hot. But still, body-wise, very hot.
Yeah. But he's a self-aware doofus, I think, and I appreciate
he
that.
is.
And I also think he cares about the game. You know what? I don't need you to be amazing at the game. I need you to give a shit. And he gives a shit.
Yeah, he does.
Is he good at it?
100.
Sometimes. He sucks at it sometimes. Is he going to win the game? Probably not. But at least he's trying. He's trying, and I'm here for it. So I'm impressed with him. And honestly, I want Brittany to stay longer because every time she gives word diarrhea, it's great. Or as I call it, diarrhea of the mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
well, yes. Let's talk about that, Doug. So Alyssa is thinking very much like I am, except the problem is that Alyssa's acting on some of her impulses. Did you all see yesterday that Alyssa licked Kyle without his permission? Did you all see this? If the gender roles were reversed and there was some woman who was not feeling it and some guy who was a stalker was licking her, I think that production would have something to say about it. But then again, this is the same production team that let JC use an ice cream scooper on a female house guest and then let him also touch a male house guest when said house guest was asleep and then play it off like, oh, like that's what my grandma used to do back in the day.
Let's get something straight. Production may not do anything. Twitter would do something. And you know what?
Twitter would do
For all the shit Twitter does, and I hate Twitter, I would give them all the credit on that one. But yeah, no. That's disgusting. Production better at minimum be talking to Alyssa. They're not though, and I have no faith in them. And I'm sorry for Kyle, really am. But
I really am too. I'll give him credit.
He's fine.
He wants to get rid of her. Like he's thrown her under the bus a couple of times today. He's actually all about getting Alyssa out of the house because he realizes how bad she is for his game. And if they were a showmance and they ended up on the block together after the Festy Bestie twist, that he's doomed. Like he's literally doomed.
Right. Can I posit something for you? Just a comparison.
Yes.
Alyssa and Kyle are the 8-year later version of Caleb and Amber with the roles reversed.
Okay. I can accept that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, very much so.
Right.
Yeah, she's like that. She's really kind of nutso about him in a way of like she wants him to be her boyfriend, and she also gets really jealous when he's talking to Taylor because I think he actually likes Taylor. Like I don't know, like what
why
kind
wouldn't
of way
he like Taylor? Taylor's gorgeous, of course.
I know.
And Taylor's also a nice human being.
A very nice human being. Yes. Yes.
God.
Yeah. I know.
Taylor's everything you want.
Okay.
But what I do want to ask you, so let's go through at least let's just say the pairs. one of them wins
I know,
HOH, who's safe? Or who
Okay.
do they nominate?
Oh God, that's asking me too much right now. I don't know if I
Or-
can do that because like the house is so in flux right now. Okay,
right, well,
I think
let me make
I'll
this
say
easier.
this.
Let me make this easier.
Okay, I'll make it easier. If anyone not in the leftovers wins HOH, who are they going to nominate?
Yeah, well, that's what I was
think
gonna go.
they will think very, very hard about nominating Joseph and Terrence and Monty. And the reason that they will is because I think that they'll go to Terrence and be like, how did you stay? Like, did anybody tell you? And I don't think he'll be as good as he has been this week because he's not in danger anymore immediately. I think he might think that if he ends up on the block with them, that he'll be safe. Of course, we know he won't be. Yeah, I know. Like, wow. Like I think if anybody not in the leftovers, Daniel, Nicole, Alyssa, Indy wins HOH, I think that they're going to nominate Monty and Joseph and Terrence. That's what I think. Because that also puts three people on the block. Yeah.
Let me stop right there.
Yeah.
There is, in that scenario, I agree with you. I think that's what happens, and I think it's likely that Terrence goes home. However, if I'm Monty and Joseph, I'm thinking the same thing Amira thought. Maybe even more. I hope they would be at that point. Why the hell would anybody get rid of Terrence? And I'm sorry, the players in the leftovers, at least one of them have to be smart enough to be like, these guys are our allies, but boy, are they going to win everything. And Terrence is just useless. Let's get Terrence on our side. We'll save him again. And we'll just replace Terrence.
It would make for an interesting week. It would make for an interesting week, I'll say that.
They can't be just like, let's get rid of Terrence. Why? Why would you get rid of Terrence? None of them care about our entertainment. That's the only reason you get rid of Terrence is for our entertainment. I'm sorry. Unless he shows himself to be a really capable player, which I think deep down, I think he has a very good social game and really could play a little bit if he wants to, but he hasn't shown it so far. If he doesn't, and we keep going, how the hell do you get rid of him? What logic do these people have to get rid of Terrence?
Well, that's what I said, but that's the argument to get rid of him, though, bitch. That's the argument that you use to get rid of Jasmine, which is, I'm sorry, but if they remain in the game past jury, they are going to the final three. Why in the fuck would anybody take either of these two people out? We literally have to get rid of them now because it's not about me. It's about you. That's what they need to say to every house guest. If you end up on the block next to Jasmine, if you end up on the block next to Terrence, you're out. You saw what happened tonight with Amira.
I agree with you. But here's the thing. That's a scenario where you're also not. You could also look at it the way I'm thinking of and say again, why don't we get one of the bigger threats out? Why don't we get a player who could win this game out? And that's what they said with Amira. And I think they could say that with Monty or Joseph. And honestly, probably I would go Monty in that scenario. But we'll see. I'm really curious to see how they play it if that happens. But let's flip it around. One of the leftovers win it. What do you think happens?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading Twitter. Repeat your statement. Sorry.
One of the leftovers wins it. What do? They put Alyssa and Indy on the block, you think? Daniel and Kyle, maybe even Taylor.
No, I think no. I think it was They were talking about this earlier today when they were doing too much, which we still haven't talked about yet.
We'll get to it right after.
Kyle and Monty agreed, and I don't know all the leftovers agreed, but they said that if one of them wins, that it's going to be Alyssa and Indy on the block.
Oh, cool. They're smart enough to figure that one out. Good on them. Yeah. But if they win veto, this get fun. I don't care about them surviving. Listen, I like them. I hope they do well, but I want intrigue. If we have to get rid of one of them or make them turn on each other, I don't give one shit about the alliance.
Alyssa versus Indy would be so great because they're both two cuckoo heads. Like,
that would be great too.
It would be just fabulous. Yes.
Oh, that would be great too. But
but
here's the thing. I think they're both such non-entities in the game right now that if they're on the block, like, I'm not going to campaign against you. I'm not going to campaign against you. Listen, let me go smooth Kyle a little bit more before I get sent home. And he's just going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and we'll get nothing. And then they won't campaign. That's my worry. But What happened
I
today?
don't think
Let's get to the feeds from today. What
Okay,
happened
so
that you
we
found
all wake
interesting?
up, we're all happy as fuck, and Kyle and Monty and a little bit of the rest of the leftovers, Joseph, I think, on the toilet, thought of this plan. Literally, he was on the toilet when he thought of the plan. So they were nervousing that, hey, if the votes come in 6-5, that we're going to be showing our asses, and they're going to know that there's an alliance out there. We need some confusion before the vote to make this a little easier for us, because what they're trying to do is, again, they don't know the Festy Bestie twist at this point. They're trying to protect Monty and Joseph from being nominated, or alternatively, Brittany and Michael from being nominated. They don't want somebody not in the leftovers to win HOH and then nominate a pair that is only full of leftovers, because that would be devastating for this alliance, because this alliance just formed, and if two of them end up on the block on eviction night, they're going to be yapping about everything to save themselves, and everything's going to go down the shitter. So yes, they need to make sure that Alyssa and Indy are on the block if they win HOH. I'm sorry, I was reading something in the chat and I lost my train of thought. But yes, overall, I'm excited for this, because again, what I said earlier was that if it's going to show the power of the leftovers, even if they don't have power, and I'm very excited to see what that looks like. If we were on a train of thought, I've lost it for a second. So remind me again. This happens to me occasionally, where a thought will go out of my head and I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about again? I forget.
I mean, mainly like Joseph and Kyle, what they were talking about earlier today, and their big plan to.
Oh yeah, sorry.
disguise
The plan. Duh. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I've been talking about. I've mentioned it like 3 times and I forgot about it. Okay, no,
Only
the plan.
3?
I know, right? So yeah, the plan. Kyle had a plan. And it was with the help of Joseph and Monty. I want to give them all credit. They wanted to make sure that they got the heat off of them. They wanted to create some confusion before the vote. And what they decided, based on what had happened in the house previously that morning, I think it was that morning, or maybe it was late last night, where Taylor was in the vicinity of somebody, had a conversation in the storage room about Pose Pack, whatever the fuck that alliance is. Pose Pound, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Post Pack. What's the name of the goddamn alliance? That's right. Is it a Post Pack? I can't remember the name of the alliance.
I think
Pose whatever. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's so like it's out of my head at this point. Post Pack. Okay, that's what it was. For some reason, it didn't sound right. I'm sorry, Tracy.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to remember the name of it. I'm like, is that right? Post Pack? Because I've never actually said it out loud. I've read it. I've listened to it, but I've never said it to myself. Okay, they decide that that Taylor has been in the vicinity of somebody talking about Post Pack, and Jasmine was aware that Taylor was there. So what they decided was, we want Taylor to be the messenger in this plan, to go to Terrence and say that she overheard some members of Post Pack being exposed, and she's now nervousing because she may not want to keep Amira. Not that she was in the first place anyway. Again, this is why she was a bad messenger, because she was always voting to keep Terrence. And they want to create some confusion before the vote so that people aren't sure about if there's a secret alliance out there, and maybe the vote flip can be blamed on the confusion before the vote. The issue was, as I talked about previously, that Taylor was not a very good messenger for this, because the people that are reassuring Terrence are not primarily Taylor. Even though he knew that he had her vote, Terrence doesn't really trust Taylor all that much. Not really. Like, he's like at the beginning of the trust friendship with her, like where he's had one good thing happen to him and he's like, okay, I think I can trust you. But he doesn't totally trust her. And honestly, in his mind, he's staying. So why would he blab about some alliance that may upset the votes and cause people to panic and cause Amira to panic right before the vote? I think if Kyle and Joseph thought about this a little bit further, they would have realized that this was not a good plan. This was not a good plan. I understand the thought process behind it. They're trying to protect Monty and Joseph and Brittany and Michael, and I get that. They're trying to create confusion, okay? I get that, and they've done a pretty good job of that so far. But Taylor was not the right messenger because she didn't give Terrence enough information, and Terrence was the wrong receiver because he didn't want to give any information to people, even when Kyle tried to get the information out of him to then spread the information to somebody who didn't know the information. He was not very good at it. Terrence didn't want to upset anything. Terrence was the wrong receiver, and the plan basically went down the shitter, which is why we got the hilarious blindside that we got tonight. Again, they took down the feeds about an hour before eviction, right when Young Sheldon started, basically. Again, what the fuck was that? Why the fuck was Young Sheldon at 8 o'clock? I just want to know. It's always supposed to be Big Brother on eviction night. I'm just saying. I don't know what the fuck was happening there. CBS, fuck you. Anyway, so Young Sheldon.
They like their 9 o'clock slot on Thursdays.
Yes. 9 o'clock, it comes rolling around. And like I said, when we first saw Mira, we thought that she knew. Then we heard the speeches. We knew that she did not know. And it was glorious. Basically, Kyle's plan, it really didn't amount to anything. But Twitter was aghast all day, including me a little bit. I get aghast sometimes.
Brent dramatic never.
Kyle was gonna blab everything, or Terrence was gonna blab everything, or something was gonna. We wanted Amira feeling so good. We wanted Nicole and Alyssa to be feeling so good when the votes came in. We wanted them so happy in the diary room. And you know what? We got that, because all of those girls went into the diary room and they were so happy to cast their votes for Terrence.
Yeah.
And they were not even in the vicinity of, oh my God, Amira's going home. Like, it was just the face crack of Nicole and Alyssa. God bless you, production, for getting us those shots. Yeah, it was pretty fucking awesome to see. I'm sorry.
The only thing I can say is I wish Amira had more of a reaction. I get it. She's like not the most like animated human being. I had like the little whisper. I wanted the Dustin BB-8 jaw dropped.
Yeah. BB can, Steph. Yeah.
I wanted
that.
Can't get everything.
We wanted the Pikachu face. That's what we wanted. We wanted the Pikachu face, though.
Oh. I want that, but we didn't get it. Regardless. I'm excited. I feel good about the season a little bit. I'm not saying the season's gonna be great. Not saying that, but this week alone, even if the season goes down the gutter, makes it better than a few of the bottom tier seasons already.
Yeah. Oh, so this is the point in time where I wanted to just be I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'll just be like realer than I've ever been with you guys, and I'm always pretty real with you guys. So the season started, and if you guys remember, the first night I podcasted from my friend's house because my power was out. Okay. And we're looking at all the house guests and we're getting to know them. And I didn't know anybody back then. We're trying to get a sense of who they are. All we saw that episode was just the quote unquote live premiere. And we were trying to make an assessment of them. And then the next week, I had something going on Thursday with my boyfriend. And so Matt Hoffman filled in for me. And then this past Thursday, Big Brother decided in their eminent wisdom not to do an eviction on Thursday night. So again, I work sometimes
the government
on Sunday nights. Yeah. So they decided not to do that. And even though I was available last Thursday night, they decided not to have an eviction. It was the House Intelligence Committee for January 6th. God bless them. But still, they were not feeling the Big Brother. So we did not have Big Brother. And, once Turner won HOH, I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and honestly, I was just like, I don't know if I can podcast about this show anymore, because I just hate these people so much. Like literally hate these people. They're just like some disgusting human beings, some attention whores, and not in a fun way. Not in a I don't want to compare anybody to anybody, but like not in a fun way. Okay. Like they're just like some really like not nice people that are in the house that I have to cover. And, like when I first started podcasting a long time ago, I didn't get paid for it. And then, as time moved on and, things got bigger with my platform, I started getting paid for it and started getting paid for watching the live feeds and whatnot. And then, when I got let go and I came here to Reality NSFW, obviously Reality NSFW is basically where RHAP was like 10 years ago. So, obviously I can't get paid. So this is a labor of love. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's a labor of love for me, okay, to come here and podcast. And I love doing it with you guys. And all the fans that have followed me really just like fill my heart with joy. But the people on the screen, I'm just not feeling. And I was this close to just saying, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to podcast anymore. And this week saved it for me. I'm not sure how I feel going forward. Like who knows? I'm not gonna. As I told you, and this is not news to Alex. Like he told me, I told him going into the season, him and Bobby both, that I was iffy about continuing on because my life is continually changing and life is different now than what it was, and so I wasn't sure about how I wanted to cover this season, if at all. But I am happy that I'm here tonight with you and podcasting about this show that we love to hate and hate to love sometimes. And I don't know if I'll be around every time, but I'm going to be around as much as I can. And I'm hoping that most of the really, really unlikable people like Nicole and Daniel get evicted. I'm really hoping they do. Because they're really tough to take. Some of the other people, they're not as bad. They're not. I can tolerate them. They're idiots, but I can tolerate them. It just seems like Big Brother, and they just went out of their way to find some really low class people this time around. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't get paid to do this anymore. Like, I always said I wanted to podcast until I didn't want to podcast anymore. And there was a part of me that was feeling like I didn't want to podcast anymore. So, I'm happy that this week happened the way it did, because it solidified my love for Big Brother and what it can be at its finest when there are people that are willing to stand up and say, you know what, I don't want to see that in the game. I don't want to see bullying in the game. I don't want to see microaggressions in the game. I don't want to see that bullshit in the game. And I don't know if they were prompted to do that by the diary room or whatever, but you know what, even if they were, I'm fine with it, because in Big Brother UK, like if people do shit like that, the diary room takes them in there and they set them straight, man. They really set them straight. They don't put up with that bullshit. So I'm happy that Big Brother and the contestants that seem to have come around. I've also come around. I'm happy to podcast with you, Alex, and we'll see what the future holds. But for now, it's cool.
Well, thank you for that. Little tough act to follow. But listen, Brent, I love having you here. I don't blame you. It was a rough start to the season.
It was a rough start, girl.
And I listen. And I love Big Brother. I got into Big Brother before Survivor. I still think Big Brother is a better game. Show, not as much, but I still think it's a better game. I love what I'm doing here. It's so much fun. But I'll tell you, there were moments I was like, do I really like? I didn't think about quitting just yet, but I'm like, I wasn't as excited. This week got me excited. It reminded me why I love this show, and it's not what it used to be. I will still maintain that. If we could go back to BB 7 and 10, I'd be thrilled. But you know what? We can't. So I'm gonna take what I can get. This was a good week. Some of these people are great. Some of them really suck. And I'm really curious to see how they evolve, because some of them have evolved. And if more of them evolve, terrific. If we get some good outcomes, terrific. And I'm just going to take it week by week and day by day and enjoy what I can. Because you know what? At the end of the day, this is still a TV show. And hopefully
it is.
Bring us some entertainment. And hopefully we're bringing those of you listening some entertainment with our thoughts on it. And yes, thank you all for listening. We did get a question in the chat, Brent. If you have a little bit of time, I think we got some good ones.
I do.
All right. First one from Mary. How proactive do Michael, Brittany, and Taylor need to be about portraying the bros in The Leftovers in about 2 weeks?
Like, the thing about this question is just like girl, like they just found their footing. Like Taylor, this is the first alliance she's been asked to be a part of, and you're talking about betraying them already. I'm just like, do they really need to? I feel like they can ride the next couple of weeks just fine. And I feel like at some point the Festy Bestie twist is going to end. The boys are going to be exposed. Whoever's left over from the girls will win HOH, and something will happen. Like, I don't even think they really need to do anything. I just, you know what? It's one of the rare times where I would say do less, because I don't trust Britt. Taylor, as I said previously, God love her, but she has not shown the skills that I think that are needed in this house. I'm hoping that they are there. We just haven't seen them because people have not allowed her to play. But up until now, I have not seen them. And Michael, I do trust, but I feel like he's kind of at the bottom of both alliances. So which is where Steve Moses was, and I'm sure Michael is aware that he is in the Steve Moses spot in both alliances. I feel like he will not betray it yet, because Steve never went out of his way to betray his own alliance. He knew that eventually the other side would win, and when they would shoot at his alliance, that he would not be the one to take the fall because he's at the bottom. So I don't feel like they should be betraying the Bros anytime soon. I feel like they'll get taken out.
Okay, I don't think they should be betraying the Bros anytime soon. However, I do think Michael especially and Taylor, I might say, they need to be aware of making moves for their own game. I think they need to be concerned about the guys and not just falling in line with them all the way through, because we know the guys will just get all the credit at the end of the game more than likely. They need to be aware of that. They need to be aware of who's winning comps. So,
and also, like,
you don't need
like a young male has won the last 6 out of 7 seasons of Big Brother. Like a male under the age of like 35, I think it's won all
and,
6
and
out of the
by
last 7
one
seasons of
vote.
Big Brother.
And by one vote, it would have been 7 out of 7.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but I just feel like the game is so young. It's only week 3.
Yeah.
Like,
they gotta take it slow.
Yeah.
But
and even people like Monty and Joseph and Kyle, like they'll start looking at each other going, like, I can't win next to Kyle. I can't win next to Joseph. Like this guy's great. This guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. Like, I feel like they'll even start to look at each other. Yeah. So like it these are not great players, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I feel like eventually they're going to get antsy to want to do something.
Yeah. All right. Another one real quick. From Mario. We all want a villain, but we have a house with some actually bad people and the leftovers. There are some in the middle, I might say, but all right. What can we hope for even if we get the leftovers to the final 7?
So that's not going to happen. I don't think. That would be... No.
We can't do this again. We can't do this again.
That's not going to happen. The leftovers are not making the final 7. Sorry to tell you. I'm hoping that, Daniel and Nicole go out and we are left with Alyssa and Indy. That's kind of what I'm hoping at this point. And there's somebody else I'm forgetting. Who am I forgetting? Terrence. Sorry, Terrence. Yeah, Terrence can go.
There's a reason you're forgetting Terrence.
I know, right? Yeah. Jasmine too. I'm forgetting Jasmine because but
how could you be forgetting me?
Oh my God, her accent, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, I'm hoping.
I ribs, Brent.
I know, right? So Pika brings up in the chat, and this is the person I was going to bring up. She said, like, Rachel Riley was a villain in the game, but I don't think she's a bad person. That's the thing. Like, we want a villain that we love to hate. Rachel was the best, and she knew it. Like, she was just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna win HOH. I'm gonna don't mess with me and my man, and fuck y'all. And like, she was fabulous at Big Brother 12. And then she came back for Big Brother 13, and we loved her. Like, I loved her. Some people hated her, but I loved her. And I hated her during Big Brother 12. And I've told her that before. Like, I hated you in Big Brother 12, but I loved you in Big Brother 13. We want the villain that we love to hate, not the villain that we hate to hate. Or love, or yeah,
No, you had it right. No, I want to love to hate you.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to hate you for real. Yuck. Yeah, and I just feel like Daniel, and like, I know it's a miscommunication, but and then to some things that he said after, where he tries to absolve himself by saying, "Oh, like, I would feel this way about any race." All like right. that stuff coming out of your mouth is just like, can I get such a bad look,
with Daniel?
Yeah, go ahead.
What a bad judgment I had on this guy. I was really looking forward to him. I thought he'd be a good player, maybe a decent human. God, he sucks. He's so really bad. Every time he opens his mouth, he says nothing that's either smart or like kind in any way. Every time he opens his mouth, he digs himself a bigger hole. He needs to shut the hell up, go away, and never come back. My God.
So in the beginning, the Daniel Durston Twitter account was really like tweeting for him and like was kind of taking him to task on some things, but on other things they were kind of like backing him a little bit. I don't see much right now. I'm just saying.
We don't have much, and there's not much of him as an existence. So yeah,
I don't know either, Pika. Like, how did some of these people get cast? I just don't like. He's not even. He just.
Here's what I'll say. I can actually understand how you cast Daniel.
Really, fake Elvis?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think that. I think he's a bit wacky. He's a bit out there. I think when you don't know the personality that's like that, it's a little fun-loving. I think he's a little different. He's not really an archetype. And I think you need a little bit of maybe the older kind of doofus. Listen, in hindsight, he's not great. Obviously, like, horrible. There are other people I could say I just don't get why you cast them. Daniel, I can get. Listen, it hasn't worked out, but that's one. I can see a little bit what you're going for. I can't see why you cast Alyssa. she's hot. That's it. Stop. Like, I got nothing
Yeah.
out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's fine. There was one other question. It was really quick. Who from Nowhere Man? I love the Batman logo. Who's in the most danger if a non-leftover wins HOH?
Michael is in the most danger, I think, because if he doesn't win the veto, and I know people are like, oh, he's the king, he never loses any veto. Well, like, let's be real.
He's human.
Like, he was handed this one, so let's be real about that. He's won 2, okay? He's won 2. All right. So just to be clear, which is still great and that's amazing, but still only 2. I'd like him to win an HOH. That'd be amazing. Yeah. If a non-leftover wins HOH, I think Michael is in the most danger, because if Michael and Brittany end up on the block, I think people are going to want to keep Brittany and get rid of the comp thread in Michael. And I feel like he must know that. Like, he has to know that. So that would be bad. Yeah.
I think Brittany might be in a bit more danger than Michael, just because I think she puts her foot in her mouth more. And she could be a bit more of a loose cannon. I think that's why maybe the Alliance would want to get rid of her when they have to pick. Yes, that's only.
Yeah, but they don't have the votes, though.
That's at that's at most 5 votes.
Yeah, that's true. And there'll be 10 people voting. Yeah.
And you need one more, which you could definitely get.
Yes, you could. Yes,
and I also think, I think the fact that they have to compete together in a veto competition, I think that hurts more than helps them. You're not getting another one thrown to you, and I don't think Brittany's any comp beast.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But
all right, so it's 11:45, and I have to wrap this up.
Yes, you do, and I am.
We've been here a while. Oh my god,
it's been a minute. Well, that's what happens when you have a fun episode, and also Brent, you won't shut up.
Yes, I know that's true. It's very true. Very true.
You know I love you, but there's the honesty.
I know. All true. I own my shit. Come on.
Oh yeah, you do. I will say, first of all, thank you to everyone for listening. If you want to become a patron of Reality NSFW, you can do that at good old ad-free nsfw.com. Some other podcasts that are going on. First of all, Some Combo of Brent, Bobby, and I will be back next Thursday to talk about another eviction. Hopefully we get an interesting week no matter the result. I believe Fair Play, Alex Trias and Dan Monchel are talking about the Challenge USA every Wednesday, and Survivor South Africa. That's happening 4 episodes a week if you haven't had enough Survivor in your life. And Johnny Fairplay and company are covering that. They're doing a very good job of covering the madness that it is over there. I can't even watch 4 episodes a week, but they're doing a great job. So got that. Matt and Johnny are doing patron-only shows talking about Australian Survivor and whatever the hell else you want. They do a Q&A each week, which Brent, you were on one of them, which had me just cackling hysterically. I don't know what else. Brent, you're on Twitter at OneLuckyGay. I'm at Alex M. Rubino. If you want to throw hate my way, be my guest. I love it. I love all the trolls. You all have such pitiful lives, eating Cheeto dust with your mom's basement, that I enjoy it. It gives me life. So if you want to send something nice, I appreciate it too. I really listen. It makes
very
me
nice.
feel really
good.
But
yes. I didn't hear what you said. What did you see me on that you were just cackling about? Or hear me on? What you were on
the Q&A with Johnny and Matt a few months ago? The patron.
Oh, when I did the patron. Was it patron? Yeah, that was the patron Q&A about the staircase. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
So at OneLuckyGay, at Alex M. Rubino, Bobby is, I believe, at Good Sweet Bobby. We'll be back next week, hopefully.
Yeah, he will be.
And since Julie didn't give a stupid line tonight, I won't, but I will quote my boy Billy Joel. Life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a good one. See you later.
And for more Reality NSFW content, visit adfreeNSFW.com.